We then proceeded at that point into our simulated countdown.
Lunchtime, kids!
All right! Hello, friends. It's lunchtime.
And hello there, everyone. I am Josh. Welcome to the lunch break. This is, again, me, Josh, with Zach and Anna and Matt in the production room. Hope you guys are having a phenomenal Monday. I know I am.
Can I ask you a question real quick?
Yeah.
It could just be my internet, but is anyone looking at the Facebook stream right now, and
No.
do you see something other than a black screen?
I see the stream.
Okay.
Oh, things are happening?
All right.
Yay.
You just see a black screen?
I see nothing but a black screen.
Nice.
Oh.
So I'm going to assume that everything's working properly, and we're going to forge on ahead.
Damn
like
it,
it.
Zuckerberg. You've done it again.
I like it.
Yeah,
They're out to
all
get me.
good. All it seems to be going.
15 days and counting until we get Fiber in here.
Really?
Hasn't it been
15 days and counting?
for like
Right,
a month?
15 days and counting.
Turns out Spectrum ain't so big on math. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's fine. We'll get there someday.
The Spectrum week is like 3 months long.
Yeah.
So, I want to make some quick, what is it, course correction? Yeah, sure. On Friday, we were messing around in here a little bit, and we had some issues with some streaming, and we put out, I think, like 4 or 5 YouTube channels.
Videos, yeah.
Videos. And then in my, this is why they don't allow me, by the way, to do any of this stuff, because I posted a link to one of the bad videos, not bad, but like one of the videos that wasn't a live video currently.
The inoperational video.
So when our phones were blowing up with everyone going, hey, you guys are just like chatting about how this doesn't work, that was my fault. And I want to apologize, full responsibility. I posted that on the Facebook page. I tried to clean it up, did not work. So again, there's a reason why I sit here and don't do any of the technical stuff. If that would have been Matt, Zach, or Anna, it wouldn't have happened, more likely than not. But it was me, and therefore we had some small confusion. But the show is still up now. You can go watch it on YouTube, the actual one there from Friday. Phenomenal show.
Yes.
You'll really enjoy it.
Killer title. Not to be repeated here. It happened. It's fine.
So we are going to go through now and talk about some things that are in the news. One of them is a story about moms. Moms everywhere are doing this one little trick where they leave their left shoe in the back seat next to their car seat. Anyone want to guess why?
Nope. I
Wait,
got
what?
nothing.
Say that again?
So they're as they load their baby in the car,
Right.
their precious cargo, strapping them in, make sure everything's tight and taut. They take off their left shoe and toss it right next to the car seat, and they hop in the car, drive to their destination.
Now, typically, you drive with your right foot in America.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't say it's to any kind of advantage on the gas or brake pedal.
Anyone want to know why?
I'm still very confused, so I'm not gonna guess.
Right.
So
go ahead.
I have a guess.
Without having read the story at all, I can tell you why.
Yeah. All right.
Having a newborn, I have never done this, but it has been threatened several times.
Having dogs, this is a concern as well.
Yeah, it could also be dogs.
All right. Dogs, newborns, left feet. Let's go.
So here's the deal: is you're worried about leaving your kid in the car.
Oh no.
So how far are you going to get with just one shoe before you go?
Oh no.
I got to get my shoe.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of gadgets and gizmos that you can buy. It all costs, $50 to $100 to even thousands of dollars. That like something that you can put in your handbag, where if your handbag and your baby are more than like X amount of feet apart, an alarm goes off. Those kind of things that you can buy that provide that for you. But as a DIY, low cost option, just take off your left shoe, toss it in the back seat, right next to the kid. If you grab your left shoe and leave the kid, then you know what? That's on you.
Obviously, for those of us that don't have kids, it's understandable that if you have a newborn or maybe dogs, right?
Sure.
Odds are you're sleep deprived. You're overworked, right? You're underslept. You're exhausted. I think the big reason they have those yellow signs in the back of people's cars that are like, baby on board, is not to let people know, don't hit me, I have a baby in the car. It's, I might be driving erratically because I haven't gotten good sleep in like a year. And like, I'm a little stressed.
Fascinating
Which is why,
approach.
in the case of this story, I suppose it's understandable to have a trick to remember to get your newborn out of the back of the car. Not because if you were in your right mind, you'd be able to do it always anyway, because of course you would. You're a parent, and God forbid you forget your kid in a car. But because sometimes, all right, when the chips are down, you might forget a little thing like leaving your kid in a car.
Interestingly enough,
Which
that's
is why you leave your shoe in the car.
Sure.
And this is not as morbid as I would initially approach this story to be. Yes, Matt.
I was going to say that's why I have a Ric Flair sticker on the back of my car, so people know I'm down to party at any moment's notice.
Yeah. I will say this. I've known people who have left their kids in the car, not for long periods of time, but for a short period of time, enough to freak them out.
Yeah.
The funniest story, though, would have to be my sister. My sister with her first kid, new parent, all those kind of different things.
Yeah.
She made the decision, not decision, but she had her kid in the car, and she walked into, she was in this beauty salon place getting her hair done. And so she had just sat down, walked in, sat down, and some woman came in and goes, someone left their kid in the car. And all of these moms are like all of a sudden going to like tiger mom mode, and like they're ready to, eat, her included, ready to tar and feather whatever like scum of the earth mom would have left their kid in the car. And they all like run to the window to see how they can help and grab.
Oh, they're
pitchforks.
ready to scold someone.
Yeah, pitchforks and torches and all this kind of stuff. And they get to the car, and she was like, "That was my car." She was, "Oh, that was me." So she had to walk of shame out of the beauty supply store and get the kid, bring him inside.
Wow.
And then to top that off, about 4 or 5 hours later, she was walking into a store telling her best friend, I'm not, because she was having like a lot of issues, like look at what I just did. Yeah. I'm not fit to be a mom. All those insecurities that new parents have. Walking into the store, and her friend goes, "Where's your kid now?"
Oh my God.
Same car. Had to go back outside. Luckily, she's only like 30 or 40 feet away.
Yeah.
But man, 2 days. Left her kid in the car. When she told me that story, I was like, I am worried about the safety of your kid. But turned out fine.
So you don't have to narc on yourself, but have you ever come close to this?
Never close.
Yeah.
I think my wife and I are so freaked out by it that it's just, like I have a friend who's also, just like my family, very responsible. And they say what happens is when you change your pattern. Like if something that is out of the ordinary happens, that's when you tend to forget. And so my friend, he's a principal in Oklahoma, and he was called because his kid was sick. And so he went to go pick his kid up who was sick. And that's out of the ordinary, that's out of his normal structure. And he popped over to 7-Eleven before heading home and just left his kid in the back. Ran inside, got a Coke, and went, and again, like I said, like you're right there. Just finish checking out and then go back to the car. But he dropped everything and ran back to the car and got his kid and brought him inside and then got his Coke.
I probably would have gotten the kid first and checked out with the Coke after. But
I imagine, again, not having a child, but I imagine that once you get used to traveling with them, you're constantly putting them in the car. At first, it's a new thing, so you're checking out all the boxes. But like anything, as time goes on and it becomes routine, I could imagine that there could be a point where you just say, you something slips your mind as you're stepping out of the car, and you've been doing it for what, a year, a year and a half now or something, and so you could easily just walk in.
I think also it helps for us is because a lot of families have 2 car seats, so they have one in both of their cars, the husband's and the wife's car.
Right.
And so when you get used to getting out of your car with the car seat in the back, and not getting your kid because it's not like he's not with you at that point in time or she's not with you at that point in time. It's easy to disconnect. We only have one car seat. So if we're in the Outback, there's a kid there. And so it's one of those deals that, like, I don't ever have him in the truck. So when I'm in my truck, my mind is kind of turned off to the car seat. But whenever I'm in the Outback, it's always
right.
9 times out of 10, he's right there.
From the bystander standpoint,
yeah,
because this is always a curious question. Say, you're walking through a parking lot and you pass a car and there's a kid in the back seat and there's nobody around. What do you call the cops? You break a window?
Break one window.
I mean, how long do you wait?
It doesn't matter.
I mean, do you look around for somebody who just immediately
look around? But if you're not within cart return distance,
right, and
from your car,
Texas,
it's Texas. I don't know how long you've been there. Yeah,
right.
I break a window. I think you're actually supposed to. There was one time I have done this, and my wife got mad at me, and probably telling the story, I'm going to get in trouble again. But so the Whole Foods off 75 and Park Lane. It has underground parking. And it was like September, early October. It wasn't cold by any means, but it wasn't hot. I parked in the shade with our dog in the seat, in the car with me. It was cool. I cracked the windows, and I ran inside to pick up a couple things from Whole Foods before I headed home. When I got there, literally 5, 6, 7 minutes tops. When I got there, the security guard was there and 2 other people. He goes, they were about to break your window to save this dog's life. And I was like, that's super dramatic. Super dramatic.
Whoa.
Like, first off, it may have been 75 degrees. May have been. Could have been maybe pushing 79.
So
tops.
okay, yeah. So we're like room temp.
We're like room temp.
Yeah.
The window's cracked. She's barking at anything, just kind of going back and forth. But they took her barking to be a stress signal.
Sure. Right.
No, she's in a car without me. She's going to bark. It doesn't matter if it's freezing outside, if it's hot. She barks at everything.
Yeah.
She's a Pomeranian. That's what they do. It's in their DNA. They
their
bark
whole,
by
whole
Nathan.
thing.
Yeah. And so, like, those kind of things, I would be like, pump the brakes. Now, you can't leave your kid in the car ever. But I think a dog, there are times that you can leave a dog in the back seat, roll the window down a little bit, pop in, pop back out, and that should be okay.
Yeah, I have been moments away from breaking a car window to get dogs out of the car. I've never run across a kid in the car, but I have run across dogs multiple times because people do that. I mean, this is not in the situation you're describing, because I've definitely done that where I've run into a convenience store when it's 60, 70 degrees outside. Dog's fine.
Yeah.
But once it gets above 80, I mean, people don't understand how quickly it can get hot in a car. So we have been very close on a couple of different occasions to breaking a car window, and the security guard happened to roll up, or the person came running up and was either mad at us for, just because.
Yeah. How dare you?
Or incredibly apologetic and ashamed. But either way, like, it doesn't end pretty. But
yeah, I guess that would be my order of operations. I'd want somebody else there to verify that, like, okay, this is a bad situation and I should break the window. Like, if I'm at a grocery store or something, I'd go and find the manager. Hey, can you make an announcement? Like, something. There's got to be some way. At least somebody goes, yep, break the window, go ahead. It's not just me, like, vandalizing a window.
That's what they say if you call 911. The operator will give you the permission to go ahead and break the window.
Do it. There's nobody around. Go for it.
If you're doing it and no one else is kind of like aware that there's a dog there, like, what if someone is at the right time looking, you think, oh, you're vandalizing a car, so you can get in trouble with the police for that. I mean, for that split second, people have guns, so like, are you trying to rob my car, and then shoot you, and you're like, I just wanted to do good.
In the case of your adorable Pomeranian left in a hot car, left in a room temp car.
In the shade. Go ahead.
What if you had come out and they had broken the window? He's just like,
I'd been furious.
Thanks. Like, I guess.
No,
what are you going to yell at him?
I would have found some way to press some sort of charges. I would have been equally as dramatic.
But Josh, they were doing your dog a favor.
If I'm on the bottom floor of a garage
Yeah.
where there's no direct sunlight, it's cool. There's a cool breeze that flows through there and ish, and I'm gone for 5 or 6. If I'm like in the Galleria for like 4 hours shopping, then yeah, I'm a scumbag.
Right.
But if I just pop in to get like some milk and eggs and rush back outside,
But they didn't know that. You,
No, they
you could have
didn't
been
know.
gone for an hour.
But I wasn't. I was going. As I said, if they sat
Right.
there and watched the car for half an hour and I didn't show up, then okay. And the
Right.
But it won't take half an hour for a dog to die from heat, right?
It wasn't gonna die from heat. Again, it wasn't
like-
106. I wasn't parked like in direct sunlight. I had the windows cracked down.
Right.
And that's probably what it was. They probably were able to hear her barking, and that because she barks forever.
Next time, leave the windows up.
Yeah,
That's
done.
That's the
solved. There
Yeah.
you go. Jerks. I'll take a quick break. When we come back, I want to talk about a famous actor who has said he is throwing in the towel. That and more coming up next.
What really happened on that Thursday here at Augusta High School that led to Chris Wood's death?
The f is that? I'm dying in this country ass up town.
Practice, what is that? That's because it's hot outside. Stuff like that happens.
But mostly clear skies. That's not a cloud. Whoa, there's right there. There's a spider.
Significant rainfall on the way and for our area. So let's, oh my gosh, that was creepy.
Deputies tell us 2 vehicles collided up there and f***ing bee on me. F***ing bee just bit me. F***ing bee stung me.
Where?
Look, f***ing bee stung me.
Okay.
This could be
One that all reporters have a filthy mouth.
Yeah,
Every
absolutely.
single one. Yeah. And the one with the bee by the car is my absolute favorite.
Yeah,
that is the exact reaction that my wife would have given. Just a loud scream and then trying to roll up the window.
Fast as you can hold that button down. Yeah.
So
If anything, I will stay still
Right.
and just wait for it to go away.
Well, they're like T-Rexes. They can't see if you don't move. So that's pro tip. Yeah, watch out.
So one of the things that I wanted to talk about was a famous actor retiring from movies. He's walking away from the silver screen, and when I said that, Matt had a hot take.
Yeah.
And that was, can actors retire?
No, I think it's the dumbest thing ever when an actor says, I'm retiring from movies. I'm not going to make any movies anymore. Because, one, most of the time they come back and make another movie after they come out of retirement. And 2, it doesn't matter. Just stop making movies. You don't have to. It's not like a career where you say, okay, I'm retiring, and then financial things change and maybe you start dipping into your retirement savings, or maybe you start to get your 401k, or if you're at a job that still offers some sort of retirement plan, you get that. Doesn't matter. Just stop making movies. That's all. You can retire at the age of 30 and it doesn't matter.
Clearly. Go ahead.
I think when you're an actor, so this was Robert Redford.
Redford.
Who's like, from the looks of the photo that they showed on Twitter, is like 110 now.
Yeah.
I think that guy still looks
I
sharp,
haven't
but that's
seen.
just me.
I haven't seen that photo.
Yeah, Robert Redford has not aged well.
He's going to be in the
no.
film.
He looks kind of like a Sharpay.
Right. His next film is The Old Man and the Gun. That's the name of it. I'm not kidding. That is the name of the movie.
Oh, it is?
Yes, The Old Man and the
Wow.
Gun. That is the name of his next movie. And yes, after that, he is retiring. I think Matt clearly isn't inundated by like the celebrity culture that the rest of us experience. Like
Sure.
you're not, and that's fine. But like, I think people, feel like they garner a relationship with these actors. Like they feel like they can relate to these people. That's what actors are. They act a part. And when an actor says, "Hey, listen, I had a great run. I think I'm going to hang it up," I think there's something to that. All right, there's nothing wrong with them stepping back and saying, "I think I'm done." I guess what you're saying is you wish it wasn't such like a public spectacle.
Yeah, kind of like it doesn't. Again, it doesn't. I look back to. I can't name them specifically, so don't sit here and ask me to show my evidence. But you know what happens. People say, I'm retiring from acting, and then they make a big comeback 5 years later, and everybody's, oh, look, they're back.
Yeah.
They're back to making movies. No, you just didn't make a movie for 5 years.
Well, they're performers. That's what they do. If I go to a concert, I expect them to say thank you, good night, then come back for an encore. There's nothing wrong with that.
B.B. King announced his final tour like 10 times.
Yeah.
Yes.
I got suckered by that the first time.
Well,
he had his farewell, I have diabetes, B.B. King, whatever his name is, tour. And I went. I paid $80 to sit in the third row to have the last chance to see this greatness on stage.
Right.
And then now he's playing like the Nokia Theater, like 2 years ago. It was frustrating.
But you wanted to see him. You would have gone and seen him. Like, what does it matter whether or not it was his last show?
The final tour. That was like and it feels desperate. It feels like when someone goes on Facebook and goes, "Well, I'm quitting Facebook," and then waiting for the love to come in, wait for the no.
Musicians might be worse than actors when it comes to this stuff.
I think musicians are worse than actors. Yes. I mean. I don't know. I get you're right. Like, you can't retire if you're not getting a pension. It's not like you're retiring from SAG or anything.
Right.
Like, it's fine. You can just stop making movies. But there's a bit of a production to it. They got to be dramatic, as they are. They're actors.
Josh is right. Josh is right, though. I mean, look at this picture of Robert Redford here. It's ridiculous.
How dare you, sir? Robert Redford is an Academy Award-winning actor. You need to have some respect, is what you need to have. All right?
I love Robert Redford.
Yeah. Stupid.
We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we have our very own digital correspondent, Sarah Strackhouse, in studio, keeping us updated on all the news that actually matters.
Crazy Eddie's going telephone crazy. That's right. Now is the time to get all the telephones and telephone equipment you've always wanted, because Crazy Eddie's got telephones, and he's got them for less than anybody else. Telephone answering machines, automatic dialers, and cordless telephones too. Shop around, get the best prices you can find, then go to Crazy Eddie and he'll beat them. Crazy Eddie's going telephone crazy. See Crazy Eddie now. His prices are insane. Excuse me, 1 second. Hello? Same to you, buddy.
Listen to Remco's Baby Laugh a Lot. You're listening to Baby Laugh a Lot. She's the funniest doll you've ever seen. Just push the button and she starts to giggle. Get Baby Laugh a Lot by Remco.
Nope.
That is just utterly terrifying.
Nope.
Josh punched. Go ahead.
That's what you hear when you walk into like a Saw like horror thing. It's some doll in the back corner just going back and forth and making that noise. That is super creepy.
Punched out on Remco's Baby Laugh a Lot. Just like 10 seconds into that ad. You were done with that one. Nope.
Yeah.
Not for me.
I knew it was bad because I saw the face, and the face looked creepy. And then I knew the giggle was going to be
little girl
off.
experiencing joy, frozen forever.
Yeah. Sarah Strackhouse, welcome to the studio.
Hello.
How's it going? You have the news.
Yes.
What's going on in the world around us?
So we're starting off in California. 200 active duty soldiers have been sent to battle the wildfires in California. CNN reports President Trump has approved the car fire that we talked about last time to be declared a disaster. That fire has so far killed 7 people. This is out of 9 so far in the state killed from these wildfires going on. And it's still ripping through the area of Shasta County. More than 14,000 firefighters have been out there battling the 17 fires going on right now in California. But the reason for the car fire disaster declaration is that it's destroyed more than 131,000 acres. More than 1,000 homes have been engulfed. 9,000 residents are still evacuated, this out of the 55,000 that were evacuated at some point. It's unknown what part of California the soldiers are actually going to. But they are arriving sometime this week, and it's the 14th Brigade Engineer Battalion of the 2nd Infantry Division. So it's a lot of combat engineers who specialize in demolition and construction. So hopefully they'll be able to help out.
I know last time I made a horrible joke about the car fire thing. You mentioned this was in Shasta County. Is that spelled like Shasta?
Shasta.
Like Diet Shasta. Yeah, the drink of champions.
There you go.
You guys ever see one of those moving trucks that's like a moving company that's staffed by firemen?
Oh, yeah, I've seen some of those.
That brings me down so bad. Because, like, is this where firemen are? That, like, you got to have a side gig to make a living? Like,
make a little extra money.
Fighting fires. And I hope it's a little extra money.
Some are volunteer, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. Next time I move, I got to get one of those companies. Because if anything, I should be throwing a couple bucks
What's even
at firemen,
crazier is the
right?
amount of hours that police officers pull outside of duty as far as, like, private security work or work in security.
They get paid $40 an hour on
They
average.
do, but, like, they work all the time.
Yeah, if someone said, "Hey, $40 an hour," I don't care what I'm getting paid. Sure, sign me up. Starting salary in Plano is like $65,000 a year. But if I go on top of that, get paid $40 an hour,
I would love it. I would love it if officers felt the ability to be able to take some days off and relax and rest.
Yeah.
Instead of constantly having to work the grind.
You should probably
because they have a pretty important job. I think
mental health issue. Should have a ping pong table in the station, be able to unwind a little bit.
Yeah.
Like that seems
somebody in that
reasonable
room
to me.
might disagree with me, but I think police officers are pretty
I don't
important.
have a lot of time to play
I don't know if firemen should be moving heavy things on their days off. They got to do that on days on, man. Save the energy, right? Like you can, I don't know. That's just me. Anyway.
Gotcha.
Go ahead.
All right. Moving on, a protest in Berkeley, California turned violent yesterday after a masked Antifa member punched someone on the opposing side and another smashed windows at a Marine Corps recruiting post. Fox News reports there were 20 arrests during the demonstration between Antifa and people affiliated with the alt-right. Now, if you're not really familiar with both groups, they're both extremists on either side of the spectrum. Depending on who you read, you'll get a different explanation of how they started, what they believe, what their ideals are. But basically, they're extremes that a lot of the I don't want to say normal, I guess, but a lot of mainstream people don't agree with. Anyways, 3 people were injured after, quote, extremists threw fireworks and flares. This all started a few days ago with two groups talking about holding a No to Marxism rally in the Civic Park Center in the city. And city officials say that neither group had permits for what they were doing. And police announced Friday that people couldn't wear masks or have items that could be used as weapons. Clearly, people did not follow those rules. This is also a day after police in Portland clashed with demonstrators there. So a lot of activity going on right now.
I remember UNT used to have little protests all the time. There's never anything like that, but I remember that was the thing
crowd.
when I got to college and was like, this is what college kids do. They get together and they complain about things.
Like, Berkeley is a great school full of kids who are very educated. No, seriously, they're very educated. They're very passionate. But like it feels like Berkeley is like the epicenter for loving to protest. Like I
haven't noticed that, but I guess.
Yeah, they tend to be on the forefront when it comes to liberal protesting. They love to shout from what I've seen on the news.
Right.
Love to shout for like free speech, unless of course someone that is coming in that is against their particular values, and then it's shut them down. They shouldn't be allowed to talk.
I don't know how
it's kind of hypocritical.
Super.
Yeah. And I don't know how how recent that mentality is. But Berkeley, yeah, has been the epicenter for protests for a long time.
Yeah.
I was just reading a story about how Berkeley was the reason that we have ramps on sidewalks now, so people with wheelchairs could, because there were people in wheelchairs at Berkeley who couldn't get around campus at all, so they formed a protest and they changed the entire world basically because of this. So I mean, they have a long history of that for good effect in some areas.
I do. Again, this is the part of Josh that I hate, and I'm trying to work on. But I look at this photo, and my eyes instantly drawn to these torn jeans. Why even wear jeans? Like, why? Out of all this, I'm distracted because you have the largest tear imaginable. Like
that is like an entire leg.
Yeah, at some point in time, just don't have jeans on.
Just to the left of the big sign is what he's talking about.
Just wear cutoff shorts and call it a day.
I was caught by the large fellow in the bottom right with the coffee brown Rebel T-shirt and the brown bandana. I was like, "What'd you miss the memo? It's black, dude. Black was the color we're all wearing."
I'm so embarrassed.
Yeah, like he didn't. Like, I love the just matching bandana for the wrong color shirt. Like you just missed the mark by that much, my friend.
Well, all the bandanas and the quote unquote masks after police saying no masks. I mean, that is just the exact opposite of what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, but that's probably why. Because you say don't do. That's kind of like for me. Whenever I was and probably me now too. That I want to do whatever it is you say I can't do. If someone says, "Oh, hey, you're gonna love this film," I automatically hate it.
So you're spiteful.
Yeah, I'm very. Yeah, when I was in college. Not a proud moment for Josh. When I was in college, someone goes, "Oh, you're gonna love my boyfriend. He's a great guy." And I went, "Nope, I'm not. I didn't talk to that guy for a year and a half. Not a word.
Oh,
not a word."
Did you eventually like him?
No. I was right. Yeah. So, but still,
of course, right?
Yeah, it probably didn't help that I didn't talk to him for a year and a half.
Right.
Like he would say hi, and be like,
in that situation, the problem is you.
Oh, yeah,
if he's not being nice to you.
I was the guy to blame there for sure. Yeah.
All right, well, moving on to our next story. In Indonesia, almost 100 people are dead after a 6.9 magnitude earthquake yesterday evening. Besides hitting Lombok Island, and I hope I'm saying that correctly, it was also felt in neighboring islands of Bali, causing almost 1,000 tourists to flee. So with most of them waiting for flights this morning. According to CBS News, one tourist from Switzerland said that they were feeling the shakes from that quake 10 to 15 minutes at a time, continuing after the actual quake hit. Some airlines have actually added extra flights to help people who are evacuating, but still hundreds are injured in the area. And according to the National Disaster Mitigation Agency, it was the second deadly quake in that week to hit Lombok, with one on July 29th, killing 16 people, damaging hundreds more homes. Apparently, the area is actually prone to getting a lot of earthquakes because it's close to the Ring of Fire, which is an arc of volcanoes, and it's close to fault lines there in the Pacific Basin.
Yeah.
And luckily, this is considered actually not as terrible of an earthquake, because in 2004, a 9.1 magnitude hit the area, caused a tsunami, killed 230,000 people.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man.
So not a better one, but not as deadly.
Not as bad. Yeah.
Yeah. Bummer, I guess. Yeah. Pulling for him. I don't know. This is why you shouldn't travel, I guess. Stay in. Don't go out.
Yeah.
Don't get on a plane. Don't go to that dream destination. Keep working. Keep your head down. Stay right here where there aren't earthquakes, and things will be fine.
Well, we just have tornadoes and hail.
That's right.
Yeah.
All the other stuff.
Go to California.
Welcome to the U.S.
Get it too.
Is there one portion of the U.S. where nothing hits, where they have like great weather all the time? They don't.
South Dakota. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah. South Dakota. The oasis of America.
Shameless
All right, well, there
plug
you
for
go.
South Dakota.
Yeah.
Just-
All right, moving on to our kicker in lighter news. A stray dog, I love this story, has been given a medal for completing a half marathon in West Australia. Inside Edition reports the dog. Let that sink in for a second.
Here it comes.
Inside Edition reports the dog, which lives near an Aboriginal community nearby, stumbled on people competing in this half marathon, was hanging out, getting pet, loving on people, And then the gun went off, and the dog just decided to start running with people. He ran the half marathon in 2 hours and 30 minutes, which is a pretty decent time, especially for no training.
Yeah, but I mean, we all have 2 legs. He had 4. Let's keep this in
I mean,
perspective.
all right.
Let's
fine.
double that.
Yeah.
Well, the dog, who is named Stormy, is at the pound right now awaiting his owner for 7 days. If the owner doesn't claim him, there's a lot of people from the race who want to adopt him.
Of course.
I know.
Well, that's
so
adorable.
cute.
Yeah.
I know.
That is
They
such a
actually,
great story.
officials from the race actually went to the pound and gave him a medal.
Shout out to the owner who just lost their dog, and
Yeah.
their dog won a half medal in a marathon, and they're still completely oblivious as to the
The new star of
Go figure.
Instagram.
Yeah, you would think you would see it on.
Well, if
Right.
it's in Australia and it's close to Aboriginal tribes, I don't think they have like CNN or C-SPAN that whatever
They
the
live extremely
Australian
simply there.
equivalent of that is. So they may just have lost a dog.
Well, it is neat, as we talked about on Friday. It doesn't matter. The dog doesn't know it got a medal, so who cares?
But he might get a new loving home from it.
Yeah. So if the dog,
I
didn't
think it's a
finish
sweet
the
story.
race,
I
Oh,
like
love
it. Good for
I
the
love
dog.
it.
Yeah.
So sweet.
There you go.
All right, well, Sarah, thank you so much.
Yeah,
We're going to take a quick
thanks for
break.
having
When
me.
we come back, we have a fix to the snow day problems that are affecting a lot of schools up in the north. That and more when we come right back.
You recycled this gift. He's a regifter.
These pretzels are making me thirsty.
I proclaim this the Summer of Jaws!
I thought that was going to go a lot different. I'm so glad that it went the way that it went.
The other half of the video gets
okay.
It goes the way you think.
Because that's taken from Doom.
Doom 2, actually.
Doom
Yeah.
2,
Yeah.
and they just put it in the Seinfeld world.
Right.
And again,
I love the music. I love
like the chiptune Seinfeld theme. Yeah,
somebody spent a lot of time making that for what?
So you can shoot the Seinfeld characters?
They definitely have voice lines when you shoot them. They say different things. So like there's a whole
Yeah, so thank you for not playing that portion. I thought we're going to have some explaining to do on the
No,
show.
no.
There you go. We'll go. So we talk about snow days for a lot of schools is a huge problem. They try to figure out how they market them, how they schedule them, when you can't ever predict a snow day or a blizzard, and so you're always trying to have to kind of figure it out kind of on the fly.
Yeah.
You have to back in some days, and you're trying to always kind of plan around different things. And
did you get many snow days out in East Texas?
No, none. I think we may have had one time because it got frosty. When it gets frosty at all,
It's more of an ice day more than a snow day. Is usually what happens.
Yeah, we'll get an ice day. I think we had legitimate snow twice. the entire time I was in East Texas.
Was this like other schools were getting it, or was it in general nobody got snow days? Like it never came down bad enough.
Oh yeah, it did never come down bad enough. But again, it did never come down at all.
Right.
Like, when I was going to school, man, literally I can remember like 2 days when it snowed. Like there's actually like it stuck.
Right.
It stuck to the ground. For the most part, it wasn't ever a problem for us.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say we would usually get a couple a year in Springtown.
Yeah.
And yeah, a lot of it was for ice, but man, I loved those days getting up at, whatever. I'd get up at 6 in the morning, get ready for school, 6:30, and then you get to sit there and watch the local news and wait for your school to come across the ticker.
Yeah. Come on.
Yeah.
I grew up about 45 minutes north of Houston in a little town called Spring. Not Springtown.
Yeah.
A little bit more suburban. My district was always that school district that like all the schools would come across the bottom, and mine was never on there.
You might get an open at 10.
We don't care. No. It was go stand outside, slip on the ice, waiting for the bus. Like the bus is coming by. Yeah. You're getting on. School is happening. We don't care. Like I think I caught a snow day like twice in 12 years of basic education. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. As a former bus driver, I drove school buses for high school for all schools in Oklahoma City. I think we had one day that was canceled because of snow.
Yeah.
Other than that, those buses can really get out there and handle stuff. Yeah.
Yes, they can.
So a lot of times the smaller districts, they have to cancel because they're so far remote.
It's rural. Yeah.
It's a rural problem.
Yeah,
If you can't get to every kid, you have to cancel school.
Right. HISD was the same way because it was interior. They didn't want those things sliding around on streets.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
I don't imagine Portugal has a huge problem with snow days.
Well, depends on where you live.
Okay.
I was going to say in the interior of the country, kind of like from the middle upwards to the north, if it's in the mountains, you will get snow. So in my hometown, which is in a valley, we lived in a city, but that school would be the school, like the high school / middle school.
Yeah.
For both the city and the villages around us. So a lot of times during snow season, we would only get the kind of like the sleet.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you could see that in the mountains, they were filled with snow, and you're like, I wish I was up there, because they would say, okay, so the buses cannot go up there in the mountain because they're old and broken.
Yeah.
And so they're like, if you're in the city, there's no excuse. You have to come to school.
Oh, wow.
And we were like, this is injustice.
It is injustice.
Not
I'll tell you what's
fair.
bad is for that, honor roll student who is going for a perfect attendance at the, and then he happens to be one of the hill people that live up in the mountains.
How dare you be born where you're born?
Yeah, and he can't come down. Therefore, he gets a not the best grade and could not be valedictorian. So if you lived in the city, you have a much better chance of achieving your dreams.
Of success.
Yeah. There you go.
Very likely.
Inequality in Portugal.
Yeah.
I did see, on a side note, Portugal had the highest temperature in its history in Lisbon.
Probably. It's by the seaside. It's meant to be really mild.
44 degrees.
44 in.
Oh gosh, that's
in Celsius.
awful.
Yeah,
it's terrible.
In Celsius.
Which is over 100.
112, I think.
112.
Yeah, my
That's
parents.
pretty good.
Well, the issue is that we don't really have AC in Portugal.
Woo.
Yeah, that's the issue.
I got a buddy out in California that's living that way. Doesn't have AC in his
a lot of
apartment just
people.
because it's right on the coast. And it's like, oh, the breeze comes through. I'm like, nope, that's 30 years ago thinking. Every house in the world should have AC at this point. Like, there's no reason not to have it.
Yeah,
but-
with the amount of global warming we have, let's go ahead and be future thinking. Let's go ahead and get AC.
That's right.
At least get a
strap
window
those,
unit or
strap those
something.
smog machines on your windows and just start pumping it out. Like, that's the way to go.
So the school district, at least for some schools in the north, have found a workaround where they're saying if weather is a factor, we're going to cancel physical school and you're going to have to log online and go to virtual classrooms.
I'm so torn on how I feel about this.
I think it's genius.
I like
Of course.
it.
You're the guy who said they should outlaw summer. Of course you think it's genius.
Yeah.
I on the one hand, if it would have meant like my school back in the day would have called it more, I'd prefer it. Because yes, I would rather stay home and do work than go to school and do work. Like easy. That's the easiest decision ever. But at the same time, like those days, those rare days when I did not have to go to school, like those were some of the best days.
Yeah.
Because not only is it a winter wonderland outside, it's an entirely unique environment. You get to throw snowballs at your friends, right? And hit each other with icicles. But like it's a rare day off. Yeah, that you weren't expecting to get. It is a Ferris Bueller-esque kind of day. And I think we need more of
I can
those.
understand this being in the Northeast because you'll get like 2 weeks where you're just pounded by snow and you can't go to school. I get that. You shouldn't be missing that much a year. That's hard to make up. Down here, I don't think it would matter. I mean, you get a couple days off and then you just tack those on at the end of the year and that's it. But yeah, I could understand. I don't like the idea of now kids are, you know, just like everybody else. You have the internet, now you can work from home. You can't ever get away from school. You can't hide from it. They're going to come get you no matter where you are. Yeah. So that's kind of a bummer, but I understand the need.
It's very much a bummer.
Take a quick break. When we come back, we have a
no counterpoint?
No place to go with that. No,
There's something you can
I've said my piece. You said your piece. We can go around and around. At the end of the day, I'm right, and that's why the school system thought that way, and they've added it online.
Anna, do you have any?
I just said I agree. Actually,
With
if
who?
it's two weeks, I agree with Josh. If it's 2 weeks, it's a lot to.
If it's every snow day, I say that's garbage.
2 weeks
Give
or
them a
what day,
day.
it doesn't matter. You have the ability to connect kids all over the world, put them in a virtual room, so no one has to miss a day. When it's snowing outside, yeah, you can go outside and throw a snowball or two. You can do that after 3 o'clock when you're out of class and you walk out of your bedroom wearing your pajamas and go outside and then play. But to go, hey, you know what? It's a snow day, so let's all rearrange the back end of our calendars so that you can go outside or stick around and eat, like, you know, pizza and cereal, whatever it is that a normal kid would do during a snow day and just not work. It makes so much more sense to plan that stuff out and go, you know what? We have everything can be set for that the entire year. We have a contingency plan that everyone can be online and do school.
Yeah,
it makes sense.
You were just talking about the kids in Portugal or out in the village. What about kids who don't have a good internet connection? It happens, all right? Like, that's why they're in public school.
snow takes out
if they
your
could
internet.
afford a killer internet, they'd be in private school.
No, my parents lived on like some not even a rural road. They lived on one of those because it goes they live off a farm road.
Okay.
So they didn't even have a farm road. It was like off of an off trail. Google could not find their house.
Yeah.
And they still had the internet. Everyone has the internet now. It's a thing.
Right.
If you don't, then go to the library. If you can't go to the library, then what are your odds?
I don't want to live in a world where everybody has to have the internet so this happens and we have to adjust our back-end calendars because of our personal problems with Mother Nature's issue. I want to live in a world of snow days and snowballs, all right? There's nothing wrong with
Dear
that.
God.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anarchy reigns. Why not?
So either way, we have a fun. Oh, good lord, my computer's freaking out.
Yeah.
We have a fun article written in the Guide Live, which is a offshoot of the Dallas Morning News. They're not afraid to ask the hard questions. We only have 2 minutes left, so we're going to skip the break and go right into that before Seth Denson joins the show at 1 o'clock.
I was already on the music.
I'm sorry.
It's fine.
So
I was all keyed up.
I was going through our calendar. I was going through my Twitter feed, and I saw this headline, and I thought, you know what? I love that Guide Live is not afraid to ask the hard questions.
Journalism is not dead.
Journalism is not dead. Dallas Morning News, they know what's on everyone's mind here at the tail end of summer. Is they ask, what's your favorite snow cone?
Sour apple. Sour apple, I'll fight everybody who says it's not.
You're fighting, you'll lose, sir. Sour apple, how dare you?
Sour apple is the best.
Matt, or Josh?
For me, I go with grape. If it's just like an offshoot, it depends where I'm at. Because there's a place, and I go to, what is it, off of Preston, and it is Hawaiian Bucks?
Bahama Bucks.
Bahama Bucks, that's the one.
Yeah.
Bahama Bucks, that's where I go. Now, if I'm there, I'll experiment a little bit.
The corporate snow cone, that's what you go for. You don't go for the stand.
You know what? But they go heavy on the juice, and I like that.
They are.
Yeah, they're
lots
heavy
of
on the
juice.
juice.
They got all that corporate money.
Yeah. But now if I'm at some like random mom and pop, I know there's one like in Oak Cliff called Estelle's or Stella's.
It's done, actually. It's closed down. Stella's closed down.
Well,
we used to go there all the time. The line was stupid long.
Yeah.
But man, they served a good sour apple.
One in a series of increasing disappointments from Oak Cliff.
And I was always worried about, like, you know, being there because it always just kind of seemed a little bit sketchier than I like to be to get a snow cone. Either way, I go grape if I'm going to be at a nondescript place. Outside of that, I like to kind of change it up. The Bahama Bucks, they have the Bahama Mama Rama.
Ooh.
And so my friend goes, "Oh, I'm going full on fatty today," and I'm getting because that's a scoop of ice cream with the snow cone on top.
Oh,
it's got like cream on it too. I think.
The Mountain Dew Baja Blast of Bahama Bucks.
Right. Yeah.
Anna, you got a favorite?
I have never had one.
You've never had a snow cone?
Never.
Stop the show.
Yeah.
What are we doing? My favorite is the correct answers listed in the comments. Tiger Blood.
Nah.
It is the best.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
What is Tiger Blood like?
Basically all the red flavors put together.
Tiger Blood is essentially all the red flavors put together, and it's freaking incredible. You get a little bit of strawberry, a little bit of cherry, and it's this one like rich blood crimson color, and it's so tasty.
Here's my problem with the Tiger's Blood, and with grape.
Yeah,
is that your whole mouth is red?
Oh yeah,
you look like.
Well, with any of them, it should be right.
Well, no, they have some that are clear, which I'd like.
Clear snow cones?
Yeah.
Jesus, you hate snow days and you like clear snow
no,
cones?
I'm just saying. If I'm going to a meeting and I want a snow cone fix, I don't want to have like giant red lips and gums and teeth.
I've been sitting here waiting on a meeting saying, "Gosh, you gotta give me the snow cone right now."
It's a problem many professionals run into. Pre-meeting snow cones.
Touche. Join us next Wednesday, or right here, which is coming up in like 2 days, right here on the Lunch Break Show. We're here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 12 until 1. You can follow us on all places where podcasts are kept. We're on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Please like, follow, and subscribe. And be sure and leave a comment below. Have a phenomenal day. See you guys on Wednesday.